Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video, which is an overview and review of the Eurofighter Typhoon aircraft add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This cost me £16.74 from the Flight Simulator 2020 marketplace, so it's not a bad price at all. It's currently the quickest aircraft by a country mile. It absolutely zooms along in Flight Simulator 2020. I'm going to show you that, particularly later. This can reach London City to Paris in around 10 minutes. And that's just incredible. I segmented the video timeline. Check the timeline of the video so you can jump to that part if you want to. I urge you not to yet. Let me show you around the aircraft first. Let's jump into the cockpit. The cockpit looks nice enough. Kind of reminds me of a low fidelity model of DCS World aircraft. They do obviously combat flight simulators very well, and this kind of reminds me of a low fidelity models of them, which is not too bad at all. Most of the buttons work, so if you mouse over them, I'm not going to turn things on and off because it's up and running at the moment. Some don't. Doesn't say in op, they just don't work. I'm clicking, nothing works there, but they will on this and these buttons. These lot don't work, but the majority of buttons thankfully do work. If we zoom in on this right screen here, if you go to things like checklist, let's get you a better view there. Let's zoom in a little bit more so we can see a bit more detail. So you got things like checklists to start the engine up and to get the aircraft running. I'm not going to go through that. It's not a tutorial on how to set this up, but if you wanted to do that, you can do. The CDUC screen shows you things like the engine performance and oil pressure. We'll keep it on that page. All in all, it's quite a nice simple cockpit and quite interesting as well. I actually like the look of the cockpit. Externally, it looks fantastic. This does come with a few liveries. So let's show you that on screen. You got things like just an ordinary livery, a bright one which is like a shiny one. You got a Spanish livery, this sort of anniversary, the one I've got currently, it's like the RAF livery, and then you've got a Luftwaffe livery if you want to try that as well. So a good number of liveries to get you going. I'll tell you what, let's not hesitate. You can see I'm at San Francisco. There's a good reason why I'm here. I'll share that in a moment. Let's throttle up, full afterburner, release the parking brake, keep an eye on this speed in kilometers, in knots rather. We're over 100 bloody knots already. Look at that. We can take off now with no problem. Raise the landing gear, and we're zooming along at over 300 knots already. Now, I said there's a good reason why. Let's just slow down a little bit. No, let's go full afterburner. Why not? There's a reason why I'm at San Francisco. For those of you who are old enough, you may remember Interceptor on the Amiga. That was an FA-18 aircraft, if I remember correctly. But of course, it set you up in San Francisco. And for whatever reason, flying this aircraft reminds me of Interceptor on the Amiga. At the time, it was showing insane speeds in a flight simulator. If you go back and play it now, it feels quite slow, especially compared to this. At the time, it felt like you were flying at insane speeds. This, for whatever reason, especially when you go external view like this, just reminds me. Let's trim down a bit because I'm having to fight the aircraft. There's San Francisco Bridge there. Look at that. Now, in a normal, let's say, a normal aircraft, you see those mountains ahead of us. They would take a number of minutes to reach. In this aircraft, we're almost there. It's going to take a matter of seconds to reach those mountains ahead of us. Lovely aircraft. We're over 1,000 knots already, so breaking the sound barrier already. So there'll be plenty of smashed windows if this was real life. I'll trim down too far a little bit maybe. But look at that. We're at the mountains that were a few seconds ago in the distance already. Let's turn around and let's head back towards San Francisco. Obviously we're in the States at the moment. If you want to fly from state to state in a matter of minutes in this, or in no time at all, it's certainly possible. Let's just get over these hills here. It's just good fun to fly. Very maneuverable aircraft, as you can see. Great fun. If you're at lower speeds, we're over 1,000 k at the moment, over 1,000 knots at the moment. At lower speeds, it's more maneuverable, but even at these high speeds, I'm having no issues at all. Highly maneuverable aircraft is the Eurofighter anyway. Look at that, yeah. Fantastic. Now, I'll tell you what, while we're at this speed, let's go into the cockpit. Let's just get the trim correct. And let's just point... Actually, let's go external so I can see what's happening. Let's just point skywards now. And you can see the altitude on my right here. We're getting at crazy altitudes. Look at that. Going up to 30,000 feet. No issues at all. Let's see if you can see the curvature of the Earth here. I think I got to something like 50 or 60,000 feet before the aircraft starts to want to go nose down. It wants to stall. That's going to happen soon, but we're over 50,000 feet now. You can start kind of see the curvature of the Earth there. The aircraft wants to right itself now, but over 60,000 feet. No problems at all. Great fun. Just great fun to fly. And I think this is where this aircraft will appeal to people. Rather than people who want a steady... let's throttle down because we're going to start nosing down now. Rather than people who want a steady aircraft, a steady fighter aircraft, this is more, I find, for those people who want to learn how to fly jets but want a bit of fun along the way, and this is great fun. I actually got this in mind with an article I wrote for flightsim.com. I'll link their website and their articles in the description for you. My article is not published yet, so I won't tell you about the module I was reviewing for them, but when that's live, I'll let you know. But I got this aircraft as part of that review. That was the reason why. But now I've just been using it, I've just been having great fun with it. So there you go, highly recommended. Now we're back down to a more reasonable height, about 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet. Let's make sure I'm not going to crash. Let's just go over these mountains. Look at this, just great fun. Stick on your afterburner. Just fly like you've never flown in Flight Simulator 2020 before. Now, if it's loading in a new area, obviously the scenery will have trouble keeping up with these insane speeds, so you might get a bit of stuttering. Nothing new, really. If you're flying fast to new areas and it's got to load, obviously there's a lot to load in, so you may get a bit of stutter, but as you can see, performance generally is no issue at all. And there you go, we're well away from San Francisco now, and now we'll be flying over towns which are hundreds of miles away. If I keep going, I'll be into a new state in no time at all. Just great fun. Fully recommended. £16.74 is quite cheap for an aircraft. And this, like I said, if you want to fly it properly and learn how to start it up and goodness knows what, like I showed you before, this checklist you can go through, and it actually performs fairly decently as well. It does feel like a fighter aircraft when you're flying it. And it performs and feels and responds nicely as well. I'm going through clouds. I can't see what's on the other end. There's no mountains. It's okay. Phew. Well, there's mountains, but they're way ahead of us. But as you can see, I'm just getting from A to B with in no time at all. On that note, let me now show you the second part of this video. My flight from London City to Paris in around 10 minutes. Okay then, so London City to Paris in around 10 minutes. Let's show you. Let's go to world map. And we'll take off from London City Airport. So right next to the City of London. Just go set to departure. It will set us off to a westerly takeoff. And then we'll go down to the Paris region, which is this part here. And we'll fly towards Orly. So set as arrival. And that will fly us past the Paris landmarks. Just one thing I want to do here is get a heading from this line, which is 153. So I've got to remember that. 153, if I take off and head towards 153, that should take us over to Paris. So let's do this. Okay, so here we are. We're lined up on runway 27 at London City Airport, heading towards the centre of London, of course, London City. Now I've actually got a stopwatch on my telephone. I'm going to use that. I'm going to throttle up. Release the parking brake. I hadn't released the parking brake there. Start my stopwatch. I'll start it now. Take off. Landing gear up. I'm actually going to use the autopilot on my multi-panel. Now this aircraft does have an autopilot feature. And that would take us, I've set the multi-panel to a heading of 153. So that would take the aircraft, it's on autopilot now, it will steer us around to that heading of 153. And that should take us past Paris. There is a bit of an oddity with this multi-panel, using it with this specific aircraft. It gives you an altitude of 7,500 feet. And I can't seem to change that no matter what I do. You can probably change it in the aircraft. It's probably something like a safe altitude for this aircraft, so it's going to default to that 7,500 feet, which is okay. That's actually fine because we don't want to be too near the ground at these speeds anyway. So there you go, the aircraft is steering us around to that heading. And let's see, we're just over a minute now on the stopwatch. It won't be long, you know, till we see the south coast of England. Another thing, I have it on real world weather, so whatever the world throws at us, whatever it throws at us, we're going to get, basically. So if there's storms ahead, we'll just have to put up with it. Hopefully not. It's actually quite bright outside my window. I live on the south coast, so we should be passing over my house any moment. So 1 minute 50 on the stopwatch now. I'm going to keep it on full afterburner because I just want to get there ASAP. When we get to Paris, I'm not going to land. This is simply showing you how quickly we can get from London City to Paris City. And it may surprise you. I've flown there a few times from Gatwick to Paris, and typically, I know you've got SIDS and stars, so you've got extra courses. You've got an extra course with the SID and the stars thrown in there, but it's about an hour on an airliner to get from Gatwick to Paris, typically. And this does it a lot quicker. We are coming up now to the south coast, would you believe it? I've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds on my stopwatch. So you think from London centre to the coast. Are we at the coast in fact? Yep, there we are, we're on the coastline. So we'll be flying over the coastline of England into the channel, or across the channel, between England and France. Any second, 3 minutes 15 on the stopwatch. So let's say that's 3 minutes 20 to reach the coast from London. Yeah, that's pretty insane. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Goodness. Those clouds look very threatening, but it looks like we're flying away from them. Threatening but beautiful. We're flying between two layers of clouds. Look at that. Oh, I just love that aspect of Flight Simulator 2020. And I love this aspect of just zooming from one place to the next. So our knots, for those who are interested, that's accurate. It's 1,325 knots currently. I've got the throttle on full afterburner, and autopilot on with my multi-panel. As you can see, it's taken us to the altitude. I'll switch over to altitude on my multi-panel, and no matter what I do, I can't alter it there. I likely can in this aircraft, but like I said, I'm just going to keep it at 7,500. When we get to Paris, when we start to see it build up below us, I'll disengage autopilot so we can buzz the Eiffel Tower. So, on the stopwatch, we are now 4 minutes and 42 seconds. We'll time it when we start to see the French coast. I think that will be about 5 minutes, I'm going to say 5 minutes 20 seconds, just as a guess. Obviously not something you would do in a Eurofighter, but who knows, probably at a higher altitude they do. It just shows you the insane speed of this aircraft, ridiculous speed. I was wrong, 5 minutes 20 is just past us, so okay, 5 minutes 30. 5 minutes 30. 5 minutes 40. We've just passed 5 minutes 30 now. Oh, my estimate was wrong there, but never mind, it should be coming up any second now. The French coast. Any second. That's it. That's the French coast coming up, and that's going to hit us with now just hitting on the stopwatch 6 minutes now. So it's just over 6 minutes to the French coast from London City Airport. Don't forget, I had to take off and turn as well. So if we were flying a straight line, we'll be over that in probably 5 minutes. But there you go. 6 minutes 16 seconds to get here. And before you know it, we shall be hitting Paris. And remember, Flight Simulator 2020 is a one-to-one replica of the world. So in real life, if you flew this aircraft, it would roughly take you the same amount of time as it does here if you're flying at the same speed. Same course, of course. Lots of cloud around today. Beautiful formations. Just coming up to 7 minutes now. Like I say, I'm keeping an eye on the ground now, that's why I'm external. Because as soon as I start to see the city build up, I'm using the Orbix London and Orbix Paris scenery packs. And there is a significant build up of buildings before you get to the centre of Paris. 7 minutes 23, 7 minutes 30, 30 now, 7 minutes 30, that's good. It's just gone off course a little bit, so the autopilot's just putting us back to that heading of 153. Just ensure that's correct. Yeah, 152, that's okay, 152, 153, we're pretty much on that line as well. Paris any second. We're now hitting 8 minutes. clouds. Look at that. What a view. Get the mouse out of the way. Ooh. Wonderful. 8 minutes 20. See if we can get there in under 10 minutes. It's roughly around 10 minutes. It might just be over. I'm hoping it's going to be under. I think the title of this video will be obviously a review of the Eurofighter, but London City to Paris in around 10 minutes. That'll be a better title, I think. Whichever way you cut it, that's insanely quickly. Quickly. Or fast. Significant build-up of clouds here. So I'm just gonna have to beware. I don't want to fly over Paris at this altitude. I want to get a bit lower. 9 minutes 20. Come on, yeah, this is the build-up we wanted, so what I'm going to do, go into the cockpit, turn the autopilot off there. Whoa, 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 can't see a thing, that is not good. Oh, okay, that is low cloud. Anyway. There's Paris Centre. It's the, and if we look to our left there, we're slightly off the Eiffel Tower. You can't see because of the bloody clouds. But we should be able to see the Eiffel Tower. There it is. There it is to our left. So there you go, and that was 10 minutes 15 seconds. So around 10 minutes, like I said. So there you go. London City to Paris in around 10 minutes. Beat that. And we're just flying over Olé, so we're not going to land there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this review and this insane flight I've just done. Give the video a like if you liked it. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon.